What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. Today I want to cover the new Testlive patch notes. No wait, this is the public beta client test notes, as Funcom has decided to change the name of that version of the game. So it's no longer Testlive, it is now the public beta client. And I'm going to jump into some things here. It's interesting that this even made it to the public beta client, because a lot of the things that are in here are not testable in this version or this branch of the game. However, I'm going to go through it anyway, and a lot of this looks like it's geared towards last gen consoles. So we're actually not going to know if a lot of this sticks prior to this launching to the main version of the game. Now, if you want to stay up to date with all the Conan Exiles news, go ahead and subscribe to my channel with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss any of my future videos. So let's talk about the performance and stability issues. Fixed a number of crashing and stability issues. I didn't have any of those, so I wasn't able to test whether that's working better or not. Optimized load times, especially on lesser hardware and old gen consoles. This should result in shorter load times in some cases. Addressed an issue that could cause abnormal long load times after respawning. Fixed an issue that caused frame rates to drop when placing the illusionist mirrors. Improved performance when opening inventory boxes or opening crafting stations. This should be most noticeable on last gen consoles. Again, a lot of this is going to the console version of the game, which doesn't have a public beta client, and it cannot be tested prior to it coming to the full launch version of the game. Spawning undead via the admin panel should no longer crash the game, but it will still bother the Necromancer Union. Optimize memory usage of spells. Implemented optimization changes which should result in lesser memory usage and derived performance problems when being near NPCs and fighting. Improved memory usage when receiving resources into the inventory. Implemented a system that will prioritize loading of models based on whether they are visible or occluded by building pieces or placeables. This should improve performance of the game stability in busy areas by avoiding out-of-memory crashes. Remove some outdated code lines and depreciated systems to clean up the game code. Under exploit fixes, they just have one single line, which is updated the version of BattleEye. Building and placeable fixes. Some wall paints would be partially hidden when used on certain walls. This should now be fixed. I didn't go in and try to test this in the game. I don't think this is a big deal, so I didn't even try to look at this. Moving placeables while you're on them should no longer move your character, crushing all Aladdin wannabes in the exiled lands. Crafting fixes, they added the recipe for the sorceress pet food to the Ophidian Magi cat feet. Now, I wasn't able to test this because this happens to be a battle pass item, and you're not able to access any of the battle pass items or any of the store items or any of the DLC in the public beta client version of the game. Down to combat fixes, gray foxes can now be damaged, but at what cost? Now, this is one that I was able to test because of a workaround. However, it's still not something that most people are going to be able to go and test if they don't know what to do. But I can definitely say the foxes are taking damage now. So if you bought the battle pass just for that fox because it wasn't taking damage, then you got duped into buying something that was later patched. Shield attacks while holding a sword should no longer slide past the target without inflicting damage. AI and NPC fixes, Yetis are now able to fight again. I never knew that they weren't able to fight. I don't know what was going on with that, but that is supposed to be fixed. Purge and event fixes. Tweak the back end for events. It's interesting that they're calling them events and not encounters in this particular instance, because they've been trying to change the terminology for the events to encounters. Now they're changing the terminology for Testlive to public beta client. I'm not sure if there's a reformation going on over at Funcom where they just feel like they need to rename stuff, but They tweak the back end for events with some optimizations and checks to improve functionality and reliability. Quality of life improvements: your character will now be invulnerable while in a loading screen and 3 seconds after exiting a loading screen. So for those of you that have been camping teleporters, you're not going to be able to just kill that enemy player while they're coming in through the teleporter. You're going to have to wait until they actually have control of their character to start initiating damage. Allow building everywhere server setting now also lets you place thralls in otherwise restricted areas. When looting or harvesting many items of the same kind, the UI should now group all notifications to prevent UI clutter. General bug fixes: fixed an issue that caused many enemies and animals to show fully or partially invisible on consoles. Fixed a number of small visual imperfections on a few armor sets. Fixed an issue that caused not being able to jump after canceling climbing if you had the perk Extended Leap. Bounty hunting turn in a head and body challenge progress is no longer reset upon rejoining the session without claiming the reward. Animation and cinematic fixes: new sheathing animations. You guys let me know in the comment section below if you want me to go through the new sheathing animations in its own video. Fixed an issue with shield floating momentarily when unequipping it while holding a one-handed spear or one-handed axe. Fixed an issue with the two-handed sword equip animation playing at low frames per second. They have some UI and text fixes. I'm not going to go through all of these, but they addressed a mix-up reward name and description for the Battle Pass level 27 and level 38 rewards. Resolved a number of additional issues where some Battle Pass rewards would have a different name in-game. And last but not least, audio fixes added a new sound effect for the new sheathing animations. So I'm sure all of this is great. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot in this patch to be able to test in the public beta client because a lot of these things are either on console or they are locked in the public beta branch because you can't actually access any of the DLC or the Bazaar store or the Battle Pass items in that branch of the game, so it makes it very difficult to test these different things. Like I said, I had to use a workaround just to be able to test the fox and whether it was taking damage, but I can't use that workaround for most of the other items in the game. So you guys let me know in the comment section below, does it make sense that they push this patch to the public beta branch, or should they just have taken it directly to live and let people test it there, since most of this is going to be tested in the live version of the game? I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you'd like to become a legend, there's a button that says join on this page. Click that for details. There's 2 videos on the screen. Click one of those to watch next, and I'll meet you over there.